Hello everybody, I'm Paul. I'm the P in PSR Racing, the first YouTube-based car club, and I'd like to show you my 93 Honda Civic. Now this isn't a newbie to YouTube. You've probably seen other videos of it. We have the muffler on YouTube, we have the intake on YouTube, we have an open headers video on YouTube, also my turning signals, a few other things, but now is the full intro. So let me just introduce you to my car. It's a 93 Honda Civic.
Hey Paul, I think you already stated that. You want to get to the modifications?
Alright. Well, I was going to be more specific, Steven. It's an EX,
okay.
So it has the same engine as the SI.
Does it?
Which is the 1.6 D16. And I guess some of the most impressive bolt-on cheapy modifications would be here under the hood, where you typically would find your engine modifications.
Is that the truth?
It certainly is. So here's my D16 Z6. I got the AEM cold air intake, a little breather filter. These are Magstar racing wires, 8.5mm Pro 100s. Stainless steel tri-Y header. Let me see. I'll go to desperation now. I have a billet oil cap here. Very nice.
Quite impressive.
I have a red oil dipstick.
Nice.
There's some red wire protectors. Now, one of the bigger jobs though was the auto to manual conversion. So I switched to another to a manual, but this manual is out of an EX or an SI, so it's meant to go with this engine. And what's in there is probably one of my most impressive modifications, is a spec stage 2 Kevlar clutch. It grabs like a beast. I mean, it just wants to tear the car apart. And actually, I think it's tearing my transmission apart, but we won't talk about that.
Paul, is that what that stain on your driveway is from?
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay. Whatever suits you.
Gold-plated battery terminals. With the price of gold, that's why I keep my car locked, people.
With the price of gold, that should be worth $10.
Maybe. So then we come into the passenger compartment. Got an APC black racing seat. Professionally installed by PSR Racing, of course. I'll have to show you guys some pictures of some of the ingenious modifications to get that seat in there. And you'll notice my JDM shifter boot, the red stitching with the shift knob, very nice. Don't mind the bunch of auxiliary cable there.
Oh, I noticed that, Paul. I love the wiring job you did.
Yeah, it's clean, that's for sure.
It is.
And also my iPod and phone holder over there.
We'll get a nice close-up of that. Custom installed?
Yeah, custom installed. Took me about 10 minutes in a hot garage with the built-in 3M tape.
Impressive. Tell us about these racing pedals.
Oh, the racing pedals. Yes, those are APCs. They look cheap. They really have no grip. And I still paid $20 for them, so that's all I can say.
So they look cheap, perform cheap, and we're cheap.
Yeah.
Okay, Paul.
Hi.
What next?
Well, in the fashion of Steven, that's my back seat. Has absolutely nothing in it. I guess if I was selling the car, you might want to see all the stains it has on it.
We're not looking at that. We're looking at that fire extinguisher.
Oh.
You know what they say? Safety first.
Yeah. I guess you could say I'm expecting my car to explode one day.
That's nice to hear.
Check out the trunk. Nothing but a saggy trunk floor.
Very spacious.
Very spacious. I'm hoping to get it less spacious with a couple of subwoofers in there.
I like the speakers you have. Impressive.
Oh, thank you. Those are Roadmasters. And you gotta love the VTEC single overhead cam stickers.
That is a nice decal. I'll get a close-up of those. Oh yeah.
So what are we looking at? We're looking at a very common, very insignificant Honda Civic. But what is important about this car? This car is the flagship of PSR racing. In other means,
I hate to ask you this, Paul, but define flagship.
Well, this is where PSR racing started.
Okay.
It started right here with this beautiful Honda Civic that you see before your eyes. And hopefully one day it will be as we actually imagine it. So what does that entail?
A different car?
Thanks. I happen to love my car. Well, what we're gonna do is put a whole newly rebuilt engine in there. And you love pointing that thing at my face, don't you?
I just enjoy your facial expressions.
Thank you.
Well, now that I don't have it pointed at your face, would you like to tell us anything else before we conclude this very long segment of PSR racing?
Alright, so we're hoping maybe like a turbo. Like a turbo, some interior modifications. Basically, I want the car to be totally brand new. Everything, yeah, so.
My tip for you, Paul, buy a brand new car.
Here. Paul Caruso here with PSR Racing.
That was classic. Along with a very classic Honda Civic. Beautiful. Paul, any concluding words?
Maybe you could take your voice off of the monotone.
Whatever do you mean?
Well, concluding words would be as silly, as monotone, as uncomfortable as I have been this entire intro.
Oh, we couldn't tell.
Whatever you would call this.
What would you call this?
I'm starting to get a little nervous, but
okay.
I'm just demonstrating to you guys how any intro would be perfect for PSR racing. So if you have a car that you enjoy, whether it's tuner, exotic, or just plain junky, we'd love to see it here on PSR Racing. So just make an intro, whether it's as bad as mine or as good as Steven's, or maybe it'll even be better than that. We love to see it. So we hope to see you here on PSR Racing, the first YouTube-based car club, which means that we all use the PSR Racing channel as our forum, as our hub to check each other's projects out. You'll be able to follow
Paul, usually a conclusion means that you're concluding. Do you have any concluding words that won't lead into another episode of PSR Racing?
Bye.
Thank you, Paul. And thank you, PSR Racing, for all that you do.